So recently, I actually went for a run outdoors, which I haven't done for at least a few months, given that I'm just returning back from maternity leave and just returning back to my regular sort of fitness routine. Anyway, I went for a run, and long story short, the next day, the agony and the pain. So I really felt inspired to actually make a video for all of you guys that are just actually returning back to a regular workout routine, whether that's through yoga or it's through running. And I thought that I would show you at least 3 basic moves that any of you can do out there, whether you practice yoga or not, that can help you speed up the recovery. Now, I will preface this that this comes with a sort of a caveat, because I'm making a lot of assumptions with this video. So I'm making a lot of assumptions here with this video, and number one is that you already have a really good hydration game. You're already kind of taking breaks in between your workouts, and the very first time that you go out there, whether it's for a run or it's on your yoga practice, that you're not pushing yourself too hard. Now, these are my base assumptions to begin with, and I'm also making the assumption that after your first run, you not only didn't push yourself way too hard, like someone I know, but you also took the time before and after to do some gentle stretching and some range of motion movements that can kind of help you kickstart that movement. Now, in my next video, I will actually show you guys about 4 moves that I use on a regular basis before I go for a run, especially if it's going to be outdoors, so it's not on a treadmill. And I will also show you what I do afterwards. So if you guys are interested, just comment below this video and let me know, but it is going to be part of the series that you're watching right now. Okay, let's get on the mat. Well, first of all, if this is the first time that we're meeting, I'm so glad that you are here. Thank you so much for coming by and saying hello. My name is Meshi, and by day I'm known as a massage therapist, and by any other time of the day I'm sort of a massive creator that I would really like to create information for you where you feel empowered in taking charge of your own wellness journey and your own wellness routine. So we talk about spirituality, about law of attraction. We work with energies. Energy work is a really big part of what I do, and we also sometimes meet on the mat and move our bodies a little bit so that we can recover appropriately. So if that sounds good, maybe consider subscribing. Let's get on the mat. So the first movement that I would like to show you, and this is in no particular order, by the way. So the first movement that I would like to do, so this is post-run, and let's say that you would do this on the next day, so you've already cooled down, obviously, and perhaps you just wanted to kind of incorporate that into your actual routine. So lay down flat on your back, like so, and bend your knees nice and flat and steady on the ground. And then we're going to take our left leg and we're going to bring it across your knee. Now, as you can tell, you're seeing that it's my ankle that's crossing, not my knee. So I'm kind of crossing at the ankle. Now, you might choose to just stay here if that feels comfortable, or if at this point you're feeling the stretch itself. Make sure that your low back is nice and neutral. And what you might want to do, if this is not enough of a stretch, you might want to bring the steady leg that's actually on the ground, you might want to bring it upwards and bend it, as you can tell, at a 90-degree angle. And I'm going to take my hands and thread it through that opening that I have between my left knee and my thigh. And as I'm pulling, I'm basically feeling the stretch all the way around here. I'm not only like rotating my knee outwards, so I'm just kind of showing this to you in an exaggerated way, but I'm creating a pull towards me, while at the same time I'm sort of you might want to pull the ankle and you push down the knee. Okay, and you can also do that on the floor as well. I'm just here, as soon as you lift your leg, then it becomes a little bit more intense, but you're supposed to basically feel it. You're supposed to feel it all the way at the back. We're working with the rotators of your hip so that we're creating that nice stretch here. My other recommendation is also to flex your toes. Flex your toes so that you're protecting the joints, the ankle joint and the knee joint as well. So you can also do this on the other side. So this might just be enough at this point, right? Like you might just find that this is more of an intense stretch that you're signed up for, and this is perfectly fine. Stay here for the duration of between 3 to 5 breaths at whatever, like whatever speed you're breathing. And once you're done, and then you can just kind of place your both feet on the ground, and you might want to kind of shake it off a little bit. Now, the next thing that I wanted to show you is to actually just bend your knees and bring your knees to your chest. You might want to kind of cross your leg or otherwise, and we're going to hug it. We're going to hug both knees to the chest. And again, I'm feeling the stretch all the way at the back of the thigh, and I'm feeling it in the glutes, but also I'm feeling it in mainly with glutes, because we're not really doing any rotation. You might not feel it so much with the sciatic nerve and with piriformis because we're not really crossing it, but nevertheless, you might also feel it in the low back. So depending on how you're feeling post-run. I actually had a bit of rib pain, just basically based on like how my posture was while I was running. So it just kind of rocks side to side. There's also a fantastic restorative posture to do anytime that you're feeling like you just kind of need a little bit of a reset. A little bit of rocking always kind of resets the energy. And you might want to rock to be in a seated position. Now, the next movement that I would like to show you is basically when you bring your hands up in your inhale, and then as you exhale, slowly rotate your torso. Bring your right arm over to the outside of your knee. Think up and rotate, up and rotate. So every time you inhale, you become taller. And every time you exhale, so with the exhalation, you're using the thoracic spine, you're using that rotation to kind of come more into that twist. Keep in mind that both of my sit bones are firmly rooted on the ground. Stay here for about at least 3 breaths. And the reason for that, you want to give enough time for your body to readjust. And then with each breath, especially if you're in a stretch position, you want to give your body enough time for it to ease into the stretch rather than being forced into the stretch. So that's very important, especially when you're getting started with any type of workout routine, is to kind of give yourself that grace for your body to adjust naturally. You will find that you will probably make it a lot further, and patience is definitely the name of the game. Rather than, it's really difficult sometimes, and I will give you that, because when you start a new routine, it's so hard to remember, because you're remembering your old self of how you used to do things and then what intensity. So you keep comparing yourself to that version of yourself. Okay, let's come back to neutral, and we're going to do the exact same thing onto the other side. So hands up and exhale. Come into your rotation. Again, with each inhale, become a little bit taller. With each exhale, rotate a little bit further. See how far along your body is allowing you to go today without really compromising your pelvis at this point. Fantastic. Come back to the center. Now, this might actually be the very first thing that you begin with when you start your stretching routine, but it just simply begins with activating your diaphragm. Some of you might not be aware of how to do that or why it's important to activate your diaphragm. So today I'm going to actually just show you to just begin with some basic breath work. For that, if you want, you can remain seated where we are today, or if you want, you can come into a hero position. So hero is basically when you come onto your knees, and then we're going to sit in between our knees. And if this is not comfortable, then you can also grab a bolster, or if you have a meditation cushion, it's fantastic for that. So I'm going to use my meditation cushion because I find it extremely comfortable. So this allows you to stay here for a little bit longer than like 20 seconds. So find a nice comfortable seated position. But this also, like, keep in mind, like when you're looking at my posture, see, like it's not allowing me to really slouch. It's keeping my upper body nice and straight. So hands can be on your knees, soft gaze. Pay attention to like what your face is doing whenever you're doing these types of restorative movements, because whatever your face is doing is sending a direct message to your body and your brain of what is sort of happening. So if you're finding that your eyes are very tense, you're kind of clenching your jaw, your tongue is at the roof of your mouth, just make a quick note to sort of relax that. Soft gaze. It's almost like you're smiling with your eyes. And we're going to take a few deep breaths together. Now, when I say deep breath, I don't mean that you're forcing the breath, but what I mean is that you're looking to expand through the chest, through the ribs, and through the belly, but mainly looking to fill up that container within your belly. And maybe if you've never done this before, just take your hands and place your hand right on your belly so that you feel that the air is going into your belly more than anywhere else. And this will also help you when it comes to running as well, because the more breath work that you do, the more you can kind of regulate your breath. Obviously, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to last longer. So let's take a deep breath together through the nose. And nice and slowly exhale. Let's do it one more time. And exhale. And one more time. And exhale. You can come back to this at any time, and obviously the more you can kind of regulate this deep diaphragmatic breathing, the more it's also going to help you with your running journey as well, and when it comes to your recovery phase also. So for the last movement, again, I would like to preface this to take your time, okay? So I don't want you to rush into like the deepest stretch, because honestly, you're really increasing your probability of getting injured. So we're going to begin with bringing your feet about hip width apart. Okay, so think like, if you are familiar with yoga practices, think like we're kind of going into warrior one right now, okay? But I'm actually going to pivot my foot out just a little bit, and I'm going to go into more of a deeper lunge, okay? If you would like, you can also bring your hands up as you inhale. So again, you can see that my pelvis and my hips are like facing completely forward, okay? Hands up. And then now I'm going to come onto my tippy toes, hands up, and then at my next exhale, I'm going to slowly come down, okay? So my knee hits the ground, my foot can stay flat on the floor, so still here. And you can do a tiny bit of a back bend, but then as you bring your hands down to the ground, you can sort of come and pivot around. See what your hip flexors are doing today. See how everything is feeling. I really enjoy movements and stretches and postures where you're giving yourself the freedom to sort of explore what your body is wanting to do that day, how you're feeling that day, because the thing is that in different days, it's holding different forms of restriction, right? So maybe you go more forward, maybe this is where you stay today. You can also use yoga blocks if you have them. If you need them, use them where you're literally just stabilizing here. But the idea is to kind of create a little bit of rocking movement here where we're allowing your hip flexors to really stretch and to give you a little bit more length, okay? So let's go ahead and come onto our nice little forward fold, okay? And we're going to repeat this on the other side. So bring your left leg back into sort of like a higher lunge. And again, look where my foot is. My foot has created like this nice 45-degree angle. Nice wide stance, but then again, I'm going to take my hips and it's completely facing forward, okay? So from here, we're going to bring your hands up, And at the next exhalation, now I'm going to pivot my foot again, and then I'm going to nice and slowly come down with control. And from here, we're going to bring your hands down to the ground and allow for a little bit of play. See, like I can already feel it. If you are in a postpartum phase, like in the first 6 months of baby, you might find that this is more of an intense stretch because your adductors and your deep pelvic stabilizers might not be so happy with you. So please be gentle with yourself here, okay? You might find that here you might have to actually come to the side. Roll around, see what feels good. Or you can simply stay here in like a deeper lunge. And then when you're ready, you tuck your toes under. You can come up to a low lunge. You get a nice little greeting with your puppy. Hello. And then at your next inhale, you come back up and you can step your foot. And you can end with just a nice inhale and exhale to heart center. So these are my recommendations. These are like the basics that I would sort of go with. Managing your recovery, come back to this anytime you need it. But you will find that the more you sort of practice this, the more you sort of give yourself permission to have recovery days and to have days when you're taking it a little bit easier, but also see sort of what your body is telling you, the more you're going to find that the next time that you go out there for another longer run, your body's going to respond to you in a more positive way. So I hope that you guys have found this helpful and useful. Let me know in the comments below how long have you been running for and what your distance is. Right now with my own practice, I am trying to return back to my regular 5K to between 5 to 8K runs. So it is definitely going to be a process because my mind is telling me that we have done it before. So it's more just remembering what does my body need right now in that recovery phase, as I'm still very much in the early phases of postpartum from having a baby. So I wanted to create this series for all of you mamas out there and all of you runners out there, really anyone who is really looking to get back into more of a regular routine in a more healthy, more safer way, so that, you know, when you come into the clinic, then we're not exactly working with injured muscles when we really don't need to. So I hope that you found this helpful and useful. If you did, please comment below. Let me know how much you actually run currently. I would love to hear from you guys. And also, if you have enjoyed this video, then you can give it a thumbs up. You can also subscribe to the channel if you have not yet already, because I would love to share all of this information with the community. And in the meanwhile, I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye.